A provisional definition of atheism might still be useful, if only to indicate the drift of the book that follows. So I suggest that an atheist is anyone with no use for the idea of a divine mind that has fashioned the world. In this sense, atheism does not amount to very much. It is simply the absence of the idea of a creator God. There is precedent for thinking of atheism in these terms. In the ancient European world, atheism meant the refusal to participate in traditional practices honouring the gods of the polytheistic pantheon. Christians were described as atheists. In Greek, atheos meaning without gods, because they worshipped only one god. Then, as now, atheism and monotheism were sides of the same coin. If you think of atheism in this way, you will see that it is not the same as the rejection of religion. For most human beings, religion has always consisted of practices more than beliefs. When Christians in the Roman Empire were required to follow the Roman religion, religio in Latin, this meant observing Roman ceremonies. These included acts of worship to pagan gods, but nothing was demanded in terms of belief. The word pagan, pagani, is a Christian invention applied in the early 4th century to those who followed these practices. Paganism was not a creed. The people described as pagans had no concept of heresy, for one thing, but a jumble of observances. A provisional definition of religion may also be useful. Many of the practices that are recognized as religious express a need to make sense of the human passage through the world. Birth, and copulation, and death may be all there is in the end. As Sweeney says in T.S. Eliot's Fragment of an Aegon, that's all the facts when you come to brass tacks. But human beings have been reluctant to accept this, and struggle to bestow some more than human significance on their lives. Tribal animists and practitioners of world faiths, devotees of flying saucer cults, and the armies of zealots that have killed and died for modern secular faiths attest to this need for meaning. With its reverent invocation of the progress of the species, the evangelical unbelief of recent times obeys the same impulse. Religion is an attempt to find meaning in events, not a theory that tries to explain the universe. Rather than atheism being a worldview that recurs throughout history, there have been many atheisms with conflicting views of the world. In ancient Greece and Rome, India and China, there were schools of thought that, without denying that gods existed, were convinced they were not concerned with humans. Some of these schools developed early versions of the philosophy which holds that everything in the world is composed of matter. Others held back from speculating about the nature of things. The Roman poet Lucretius thought the universe was composed of atoms and the void, whereas the Chinese mystic Chuang Tzu followed the possibly mythical Taoist sage Lao Tzu in thinking the world had a way of working that could not be grasped by human reason. Since their view of things did not contain a divine mind that created the universe, both were atheists. But neither of them fussed about the existence of God, since they had no conception of a creator God to question or reject. Religion is universal, whereas monotheism is a local cult. Many primitive cultures contain elaborate creation myths, stories of how the world came into being. Some tell of it emerging from a primordial chaos, others of it springing from a cosmic egg, still others of it arising from the dismembered parts of a dead god. But few of these stories feature a god that fashioned the universe. There may be gods or spirits, but they are not supernatural. In animism, the original religion of all humankind, the natural world is thick with spirits. Just as not all religions contain the idea of a creator god, there have been many without any idea of an immortal soul. In some religions, such as those that produced Norse mythology, the gods themselves are mortal. Greek polytheists expected an afterlife, but believed it would be populated by the shades of people who had once existed, not these people in a posthumous form. Biblical Judaism conceived